Hello folks, well we've had some fun with all the racing lately, despite the fact that I couldn't beat that doggone drone until I turned the camera off and raced again, and of course I beat it then. But now it's time for a quick tech talk just to kind of show you how I got from the beginning to where I was at on the last few videos. The first part I want to talk about has to do with just power to the track. As you guys have seen, the track is quite large. I'm guessing 70-80 feet. I mean, I know I used at least two sets that had close to 30 feet and used almost all the track out of them, plus another couple of sets and pieces and stuff. So it's pretty long as far as overall track length, and so power delivery is a little bit of an issue on these things. And one of the things I started running into, especially when I began running cars that weren't Carrera cars. So let's start with the very first set. In the very beginning, I got the set that had, the newer sets, if you buy a new set, it's going to have this particular power track, and then this kind of a controller. And let's call this the new red. It's everything's, it's got some red trim and everything. The controller plug is also red, and unfortunately I don't have a power supply here of that style to show you. It looks basically like this power supply, except it would have a red plug. But anyway, this style works great with the original Carrera cars and everything. I can't really complain about it. The throttle response is pretty smooth. There's basically a couple of issues with it, and that are basically facing the most of these, is that the throttle on these, it goes from maybe 0 to let's call it 70%ish. So you go from 0 to 70 here, and then when you push this, it jumps. When you push this turbo button, it jumps all the way to 100. And basically, so you have absolutely no amount of control between the 70 and 100. Even if you push this button and try to let go and modulate here, once this button is pushed, it's defaulting all the way to 100% power. And so it's really not preferable to have it operate that way. It's kind of Carrera's gimmick and some of the other companies that make the 143rd stuff. And it's really it's not preferable, guys. If any of you manufacturers happen to be listening to this, get rid of that stuff. It's not good. And another couple of reasons also is that this turbo button, I love the Carrera stuff. It's been really durable. I mean, you can launch the cars across the room and put them back on the track, and they just keep running. But this turbo button has basically been the only thing I've had that has literally failed on me completely. I mean, other than some car motors that I've ran the heck out of and stuff like that. But these turbo buttons, especially if your car is not exactly pristine, if the motor isn't pristine, and maybe the motor and the contacts aren't pristine, and so you start to have to rely on hitting this turbo button, especially maybe even in the corners a little bit, and you give it just little micro taps and stuff, and it ends up wearing that thing out fairly quickly. And